Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hey, Nina. How you doing? Hello, hello. Nina, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe during the quarantine. Hey there. Hey there. Hey there. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes. And
I want to thank you for joining us or joining me. They took it off. What was said over there? Hi, Shannon.
Hey, Angela. How are you? Hope you're staying safe. I'm not going to be on very long. I just finished where faith and fashion collide with Toya Marshall, and we were trying to do a recap on Facebook, and it didn't allow both of us to actually be on at the same time. So I just kind of wanted to give just a little bit of a recap of what we talked about, and to kind of catch up those of you who I advertised that we were going to be live tonight. We did do it on Instagram, but didn't get a chance to do it on Facebook. So, hey, Stacy, how are you? So I'm going to give people a few more minutes. And hey, Miss Penny, how you doing? Give people a few more minutes before I actually start. I hope that everybody's staying safe. I hope that hey, Kara Green, hope that you're staying safe. Hope that you are practicing your social distancing, and hope that you are, hey, Joy, thanks for joining me. Hope that you are practicing your social distancing and you are staying in, and that you are spending this time with your family and getting a chance to really have some quality family time, and to really just, make sure that you are prepared. Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you so much. And that you are prepared once this season is over. So I want to come on just for a few minutes. I just finished an amazing. If someone could tag Toya for me, I think I did. But I just finished an amazing segment, and we kind of ran over on time a little bit with Toya. Hey, Tanya. We ran over a little bit of time on Instagram, where we talked about where faith and fashion collide. And Toya was trying to give a recap, but both of us couldn't be on at the same time. So I thought that I would just kind of share a little bit about what we talked about, so that you could get an understanding of what she was sharing, and also because I promoted that I was going to share it on my page as well. So it's a great platform where faith and fashion collide. Hey, Pastor Gina. Faith and fashion collide, and we had the opportunity to really talk about how faith and fashion go hand in hand. And Toya asked me some wonderful questions, and one of the things that I shared with Toya, and oh, good, Toya's on here. So Toya, type in where I'm missing or whatever that didn't get a chance to cover. Just kind of do a quick recap. So we actually talked about, especially, at faith and fashion when it comes to ministry. We talked about, how you are an entrepreneur, or you someone who has a dream or a vision, or those of us who lack self-confidence sometimes. And what's your starting point? What's your jumping off point whenever you lack in certain areas and you want to grow in those areas? And one of the things that I have been consistently focusing on, and that I have been sharing, and which I shared tonight, which I just want to share real quick, and that is earlier today, we shared a snippet of part of my Beauty in Her Battle boot camp. And I talked a little bit about the stretch. And the stretch has become so significant to me for several reasons. But one of the things that I was encouraging my followers and my friends, to really focus on the stretch, because there is strength in the stretch. And so when I say stretch yourself, I mean that you have to stretch yourself so much until it scares you. Because if we focus on only what we see, we limit ourselves ourselves in our vision. We limit ourselves in our capability. So when you stretch yourself into the zone of what you may consider fearful, that is when you actually go beyond your expectation and you fully depend on God. We have dreams, we have goals, we have visions, we have aspirations. We have so many different things in our lives. We have so many things in our mind that we want to accomplish. And so we get comfortable in the place called good. We get comfortable in the place where we feel like we have arrived. But where we are currently is not where we're supposed to be. Where we are currently is just the place that it has moved us from where we were. But in order for us to get to the next place, you got to stretch yourself. And when you stretch yourself, you'll find strength in the stretch. When you stretch yourself, it is in that time do you get a chance to really know yourself as well as knowing God even more on a deeper level. So I kind of wanted to share that. Let me back up. So for those of you who this is your first time on my page, because I get excited talking about things that I'm passionate about. For those of you who are new to my page, I am Bridget Battle, style strategist, author of Beauty in Her Battle. And one of the things that I focus on is self-confidence and making sure that you show up as the best version of yourself. Hence is why we were talking about strength in the stretch. Strength in the stretch. You got to show up as the best version of yourself. And the way that you do that is with self-confidence. So you might ask me, how do I get that self-confidence? The first thing you have to do is you have to learn how to silence the noise. And that's something I had to do. You got to learn how to silence the noise. See, it's not about putting on clothes because anybody can put on clothes, but it's about being able to be confident in the clothes that you are wearing so that when you show up, whether it's in the marketplace, whether it's in the boardroom, whether it's in the company, that when you show up, that means your technical skills match the way that you look. So anybody can put on clothes. It's about being confident. So how do I get this level of confidence? The way that I get this level of confidence is silencing the noise. So you ask me, what exactly is silencing the noise? Silencing the noise is finding more about yourself, figuring out what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what makes you cry, what makes you laugh, what's your favorite color, what's the thing that's in your mind that makes you cry every time you think about it, what's the thing that keeps you up late at night, what is that silent frustration, what is that thing that every time that you think about that one thing, it changes your whole mood. Those are the things you got to learn how to silence. And you silence those things by finding yourself in the Word of God, finding yourself in worship, finding yourself in praise, and connecting with someone who can pray for you when you can't pray for yourself. Because there are times that in this Christian walk that you will need somebody else to pray for you when you don't have the strength to pray for yourself. So you got to do those things. Silence the noise. Get you an accountability partner. Get you words of affirmation. Oftentimes you hear me say that I am a disruptor. I am a disruptor. And that's my power word. It's my power word for 2020. And I encourage you to get a power word this year. Because when you get power words and words of affirmation, the more you speak it, the more you believe it. When you speak it, you believe it, then you begin to operate in it and you begin to work in it. And then once you start to do all those things, your influence changes. So the first thing I said was silence the noise. The second thing I said was increase your prayer, increase your praise, increase your worship. And then the fourth thing I said was get you an accountability partner. Get someone who can pray for you, even when you can't pray for yourself. So that's all developing your level of confidence. Oftentimes we look at the finished product and we look at the final product or either the final outcome of how people look. And you see that they are well dressed up. And oftentimes if you follow these people home and you have conversations with them, the outer apparel or the outer look looks great. But however, if you have not done your internal work on yourself, that means that the clothes are wearing you and you are not wearing the clothes. You should wear the clothes and the clothes should not wear you. So those are just kind of some of the things that we covered tonight. And I kind of just want to just kind of give a little bit more as a recap of what we talked about, because it was such a great conversation that you can tell I'm so excited. I'm so passionate because this is my lane. These are the things I enjoy talking about because I believe in sowing seeds for other people to be successful. And so those are the things that we kind of captured tonight. And we wanted to bring some of that back here on Facebook to really talk to you about, okay, so faith and fashion colliding. So before you can get dressed up, you got to do some work on this inner self. You got to do that internal work. And I'm not even going to tell you that it's easy, because no, it's not easy. I've had to do my internal work. My self-confidence had to go to the next level, especially if you want to be in the marketplace and you want to grow in the marketplace. Your confidence has to be increased, because there will be plenty of times that you may not get the answer that you want to get. But in order for me to go and grow, because I believe in my mission, I believe in my vision, and I know that I add value, you got to be confident. So it all comes back to you actually doing your internal work. So that's one of the things that we covered on tonight. And then the other thing that we actually covered on tonight, which I thought was really great, is that oftentimes that when it comes to getting makeovers, or when it comes to changing your wardrobe, we have to deal with the fact that the reason we want makeovers or wardrobe changes is because we've had lifestyle changes. Lifestyle changes are what dictate those things to us. It's either we've gained weight, we've lost weight, we've had a baby, we are getting married, we want a promotion on our job, but it's always something that dictates why we want a makeover or why we feel like we need to up-level our image. And those things are things that I think that us as individuals need to really hone in on, because that helps you develop your own signature image. That helps you develop the look that works for you and a look that works for your lifestyle. So it's really identifying those things. And so before you dress up before the crowd and dress up before the nations, you got to dress up for yourself. And the way that you dress up for yourself is that you pull back all those layers within yourself. You pull back those layers within yourself and you start working from the outside in. So I'm probably jumping all over the place because I don't want to make sure that I didn't forget to share any information, because we shared so much tonight over on Instagram, and we want to make sure that we kind of gave you a little bit of the information that we shared. Then I think Toya, type in the comments in case I'm forgetting anything. The other thing that we talked about, especially those of us who are faith-filled believers, and when it comes to dressing appropriately for church, especially those of us that are in ministry, it's not about me looking like I'm homeless, or it's not about me looking a plain Jane. No, it's about me really making sure that my presence does not stop God's presence. The way that I dress and the way that I look, it should never hinder the presence of God filling the atmosphere, because it is our job as believers in Christ. It is our job as a witness to not only make sure that we are drawing souls to Christ, but it is also our mission and our assignment so that we are serving the body of Christ and that we are serving the believers. So making sure that our presence is appropriate. So it's not about dictating what you can and what you cannot do. It's just about making sure that you are writing the narrative that speaks Jesus Christ. So those are the things that we covered over on the live. So we had such an amazing time over there that I just kind of wanted to just jump on and just share a little bit about what we talked about, because we covered so much and wanted to make sure that we actually gave you practical principles when it comes to actually looking and living your best life. Especially when it comes to your attire, we also talked about as well as fashion rules. Now, I don't believe there are any fashion rules. I believe that because we all are unique and we are all individual, that was saying that what we do is you dress according to what works for you, what works for your lifestyle, and what works for your budget. And it's also making sure you're dressing appropriately for different settings, because there are different settings, because some of us are mothers, some of us are wives, some of us are preachers, some of us are entrepreneurs, some of us are C-suite executives. So it's about knowing the setting on how you should dress appropriately. And let me put a pin right here. Thank you so much, Carmela. And I know my sister Toya is on here, and I saw she touched on it earlier. But let me just add this plug in. And Toya, I meant to say this too over on Instagram Live. When it comes to you showing up virtually means that I'm showing up on the computer, or I'm showing up on social media, or I'm showing up on the phone the way that I would show up in person. Somebody said, say it again. Show up online the way that you would show up in person. You have to show up the way that you will show up in person, especially when it comes to a business meeting. When it comes to a business meeting, just because it's virtual doesn't mean that you eat during the business meeting. It doesn't mean that you wash dishes. It doesn't mean that you have so many things going on in the background that you miss what's actually happening virtually. So it's just being cautious of your surroundings, being cautious of the way that people view you, being cautious of the way that you deliver yourself to other people, and making sure that you show up the best version of yourself, whether it is, church, whether it is work, whatever it is. You have to show up virtually the way that you would show up in person. So if you wouldn't show up to your job with a bonnet on, or if you wouldn't show up to your job in your pajamas, when it comes to virtually being physically present, that is the way you should show up here online, because we never know what opportunities can come to you, because now virtual has become the new normal. So in that case, now we got to make sure that we are putting our best foot forward in any way, in any avenue. Now is not the time to prepare. Now is the time to execute everything that you've learned. Now is the time to execute everything that you believe in. Now is the time to show up why you are qualified and why you can do what you can do. Thank you so much to everybody who's joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just wanted to do a recap, because I had such an amazing time with Toya Marshall over on Instagram, where we talked about faith and fashion, and we talked about confidence. We talked about showing up, being the best version of you. We talked about how you can be your best and do your best. And we talked about so much that we were trying to get it over here on Facebook, and then we weren't able to get on at the same time. So I kind of wanted to give a little bit of a recap. So you can go to Toya's page on Instagram to look at the actual interview. But I wanted to make sure that I was able to give you something. And plus, I have to tell you that right now, like, my excitement level is up here. I think that my brain has so much information that I want to give it all to you, which I can't give it all to you tonight. But we just have to make sure that we are showing up. We have to show up the best version of ourselves. You have to show up the best version of yourselves. And the way that you show up that way is by making sure that you have your self-confidence intact and making sure that you stretch yourself. There is definitely strength in the stretch. So if anybody has any questions here for me, happy. Toya, Faith and Fashion. Somebody said that's a t-shirt. Go ahead on, Toya. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions for you tonight. Also, let me see if I can read some of the comments. Yes. Also, I encourage you, if you have not, during this time, now is a great time for you to start organizing now is a great time for you to start organizing your closet, start checking your shoes, see if your taps on your heels need to be fixed, check your purses to see if the zippers, check your briefcases, see which items need to have buttons repaired. Now is the time to do all those things. Now is the time for, if you want to try different things, you want to try different looks, you want to see, try different colors. Now is the time to do that. now is the time to do that while you're at home. So if you have any questions for me and Toya, feel free to type them in. Feel free to type them in and we'll answer your questions. Hey, Matthew, thank you for joining me. Hi, Diana Williams. Thank you. Lady Sharon J., you already know I love you. Hey, Sarah Middleton. Latasha Murphy. Yes. I see I got my North Carolina family friends on here. Hey, Lenore. Hey, Mary. Hey, Damon. I love you guys. But yeah, so just kind of want to just give you a quick recap. Tonight was, hey, Vivian, happy belated birthday. Hey, Lavanya, how are you? Nicole Macon, hey, sis. One fabulous lady. Joy, thank you for coming over. Hey, Jamie Lynn. Hey, thank you. But yes, I just wanted to make sure that, hey, Pastor Felix Morgan, I just wanted to just kind of come over and share. Hey, Angela. Hey, thank you for joining us. Hey, Karen Jones. But I just kind of want to just give you like a little brief recap. May not have necessarily been in the order that we did it, but I just wanted to give you like a recap on some of the things that we discussed over there on the Instagram Live, because we had a really good and intense conversation, and we gave you a lot of tools and strategies and things that you can use and that you can implement in your own personal life, because I do believe that one of the things that we are commissioned and called to do is to share resources, and that, you know, everybody has to be successful. One person just can't be successful. If I know the strategy, then, hey, Crystal, if I know the strategy for success, then it is my responsibility to be able to sow other seeds for success, to really show you how you can grow and up level your own self. So just wanted to share those things with you. Also, I did do a book giveaway on Instagram Live. So I'll do a book giveaway here tonight on Facebook as well. So Toya, if you're still on, Toya, let me know if you're still here. Hey, Nita, if you're still here on my Instagram, so that we can pick someone here off of my Facebook to give a book to over here. Hey, Kathleen. Hey, how are you? Thank you so much. Thank you. So we had such an amazing time. I hope everybody is staying in. Toya, all right, Toya, pick us a winner over here. I'm going to give away a book over here on Facebook. So if you could scroll up and look at the comments, scroll up and look at the comments and pick someone here, and then they can just inbox me their information so that I know who to mail the book to. Yes. Somebody type strength in the stretch. Tomorrow, if you haven't seen the clip of that video, I'll reshare it again after we finish. Tomorrow we'll release the whole video where it kind of gives you a little bit more background on when I was talking about strength in the stretch. Carmela, hey, Carmela! Carmela is the winner for the book. All right. But somebody type strength in the stretch. Because I'm definitely going to be talking more about that. And I'll just give my own personal testimony real quick. Ashley said I'm dressed up tonight. Ashley, you crazy. But I'll just give my own quick personal testimony of how I came to that point of being a strength in the stretch. And you've always heard me talk about how when I moved here, that my accent was a lot thicker, and I'm sure you still hear my accent, but it was a lot thicker. And so when I first moved here to Philadelphia from North Carolina, and I was always getting referred to as the girl from down south, or I was always getting referred to the girl who was country, or I would always get referred to as the girl who had such a thick accent, and that started to become a barrier for me. I knew I had the skill set to go beyond where I was in my corporate job, but my accent became a barrier for me. And so what I did was I used what would become a barrier, and I used that to convert that to actually my next level of confidence. So what was meant to hinder me, I used that as what has caused me to really grow and build a successful brand. So now, thank you so much, Crystal. So what try to gnaw at my self-confidence, my accent, I use that now as conversation starters. I use that as a pitch when I'm trying to get new clients. And so I was fearful in the beginning about people receiving me because I was not from Philadelphia. And so with that, I made up my mind that I was just going to close my eyes and jump. I didn't care who supported me. I didn't care who didn't believe in me. I made up in my mind that I had the skill set, which meant that I had the strength. So now I had to stretch myself if I wanted to get beyond where I was. And so that's how I got strength in the stretch, is that you got to do it even if you got to do it scared. You got to do it even if you are fearful. Once you stretch yourself, that is when you get your strength, because it's at that time that your vision grows beyond what you initially thought it would be. I never knew I would do some of the things that I'm doing now. I never knew I would get some of the opportunities that I have now. I never knew that my life was going to take this route that it has taken. And then when I tell you that I am so grateful for my journey, and I'm so grateful for how I got to this place. But it was all because of, I just kept on saying to myself, there is strength in the stretch. And I had to stretch myself. I had to stretch myself even when things felt like they were working against me. I still had to stretch myself. I had to stretch myself even when my whole personal life was falling apart. I stretched myself. I wrote my book while my dad was dying. I built a 6-figure brand all while my personal life was falling apart. So that's how I learned that there is strength in the stretch. And so when I come on these lives, and when I share my experiences with you, I'm not bossing up for Facebook or bossing up for the gram. This is my real life. This is my real story. This is my real process. This is how I got to where I am. And there's still so much more that I need to learn. There's still so many more places that I need to go. There's still so many lives that I need to reach. But I promise you that if you keep going and you do it even when you are afraid, you will be successful. And then the other thing too that I want to share with you, and that is this, and I feel like I'm probably going over my time because I didn't mean to keep y'all this long. But the other thing that I wanted to share with you is this. There's only one you, and you have to be your authentic self. It does not matter who else is doing the same thing that you're doing. It doesn't matter who has a company and they are selling the same products that you have. It doesn't matter. What it matters is that you are your authentic self, and that you cultivate and you develop your own secret sauce, because there's only one you. And so there's a unique factor about you. And that is the you that you want to display in the marketplace. And there's the you that you want to display in the world. So that's a little bit about, yes, honey, yes. So right now, yes, you see the success now, but there are plenty of nights that I did cry. There are plenty of nights, total transparency. I said, girl, what are you doing? And every time I ask myself, girl, what are you doing? I challenge myself to do something even bigger. I challenged myself to do something even greater. And I have to tell you that with God's help, and I know that it's with God's help, that He has allowed me to create a life that serves me while I serve Him. He has allowed me to create a life that serves me while I serve Him. So it's part of my story. My next book will give you my full testimony, and I'll share my full story of how I got to this place. And then you'll see the other side of my success. So, so I think that's all I have. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. This is a lot of company I done had since the quarantine. It's nice to be talking to folks. It's nice to be seeing everybody on here tonight. Hey, Rosalind. Oh, Karen, God bless you too. Thank you so much. Yes, confidence. You gotta have confidence. you got to have confidence. You got to have confidence. Got it. So does anybody have any questions for me before I log off? Or before, does anybody have any questions for me before I log off? So Carmela, make sure you inbox. Oh, the name of my book is called Beauty and Her Battle. It is a 30-day style guide. And you can get it from my website, www.thebbexperience.com, www.thebbexperience.com. And this is the back of it. Yes. If you're not following me on all, Toya says she wants to gift another book. All right, so we have another giveaway. Hey, Shadesha, my niece is on, y'all. She's getting married in September. You can somebody put it in. Hey, Promise. If someone would type in my website for me, www.thebbexperience.com. Oh, Tressa, she's from my hometown. Listen, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do this. Go ahead and do it. So since y'all on here and I'm feeling real cheerful, I'll give you a little bit. So my next book, my first chapter is called Life After Loss. And it doesn't matter what your loss is. Your loss could be a death. Your loss could be a divorce. But I'm telling you the strategies and the tools that I use for life after loss. Somebody says, how did I start my brand? Yes. So I started my business because when I moved here, I didn't have family here outside of my church family. And I've always loved fashion. I watched my grandmother dress up as a kid. And because I didn't really know anybody outside of my church family, I would shop all the time. And then people would start to ask me, where you get this from? Where you get this from? And so what started out as a hobby, I really got passionate about it and I kind of grew the brand, but I could only go but so far. And so I hired a business coach. And she taught me how to really develop systems and processes and strategies so that I could really maximize my exposure. Tina Pollard, I got it. Maximize my exposure, but also monetize it. And so now I do what I love. And I also am able to generate a profit by it. So, and I'm happy to share more with you about that. If you have any additional questions, or if you're looking to start a business, I'm happy to share my story with you even more. Anybody else have any more questions? Lenore, I'm glad you encouraged. That's blessing me to see y'all comments and to see so many people still on here. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. 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 Yeah, so this is a journey that I absolutely love. And it's not a journey that when I was a kid that I grew up and said, oh, I want to be a business owner. No. When I was a kid, I said I wanted to be an attorney. Then I wanted to be a nurse. But this just, God has a way, God has a way of just changing your plan, and God has a way of just rerouting your direction. And his vision is, and your vision together is just amazing. So, all right, Daryl said, please pass a brick. So Daryl, I haven't preached that message in a while. Pass me a brick. That was one of my favorite messages to preach. Somebody said, does your book come with a pair of shoes? Because I need a pair. Oh, Lord have mercy. I have been organizing a little bit more because I started to find that I had accumulated way more stuff. So I'll see what's in here that I may be able to part with. Promise. So I will let you know. I don't even know if you wear my shoe size. So I wear 7.5, 8, and some 8.5. Depends on how high they are. All right. So I don't want to be rambling. So if anybody else have any more questions or any more comments, Joy, how often do you recommend purging your closet? So I recommend purging your closet every season. And that is because our body shapes and our weight, it fluctuates and it changes. And then also our style changes. And then as we begin to grow and evolve into whatever we're working in or what we're doing, our style changes. The way that we want the world to view us, it changes. So I recommend purging your closet every season. Yep, those are my recommendations. I try to do mine twice a season. It's because now I've accumulated so much stuff, and then I have people that send me stuff now, and so I want to make sure that I'm not keeping a bunch of things that I'm attached to that I don't wear or don't fit or that's not my style anymore. So I recommend that you purge every season. You're welcome, Joy. You're welcome. Anybody else with any more questions? All right. Well, if you think of anything else, feel free to inbox me. Go to my website. Make sure you follow me on all my social media outlets. I had so much fun hanging out with all of you tonight. And make sure you tune in to watch Toya's Faith and Fashion. I believe it's next week. Thank you. Next week, same time at 8:30 on Instagram. And she has another guest. And tomorrow, be on the lookout. We're releasing the full video on the confidence effect, where I talk about more about talk about the strength in the stretch and so much more. So, all right, everybody have an amazing night, and I'll talk to you soon.